Hello everyone, this is Chris from IELTS Advantage. You're very welcome to this video. Lots of people have been emailing me asking me, can I show them some content from IELTS Writing Academy? Can I show them a module in IELTS Writing Academy? So in this video, I'm going to show you a little bit of one of the modules, just to give you an idea of what the modules look like and how powerful the techniques are that I teach in the modules. So let's go ahead and log in. So I'm going to use my wife's email address. Don't copy this email address. And her password. It's very simple to log in. Just a couple of seconds. And here we're inside IELTS Writing Academy. So let's go and pick a module that we're going to look at in this video. So as you can see, there's 12 modules for task 1. And there's 12 modules for task 2. So which module will we pick? Discussion questions. We've had lots of questions about discuss both views questions. So let's have a look at that. So as you'll see, each module has a video and it has some PDF exercises. So let's go and open up the video. And I don't want to show you the whole video because it wouldn't be fair on the people who have actually bought the course. So I'm only going to show you a little bit of the module, so about 15 minutes of the module. So we can start here and I'll play it for about 15 minutes. It's a very long module. It's about 40-45 minutes long in total, but I'm going to show you about 15 minutes of it. So let's look at common mistakes that people make when they're doing discussion essays. Not giving your opinion. Lots of people see discuss both views and they just discuss both views. So they say one person thinks this and the other person thinks that, and they don't give your opinion. If you don't give your opinion, you haven't answered 33% or a third of the question, because there are 3 things you need to do. You need to discuss one view, you need to discuss the other view, and you need to give your opinion. So if you don't give your opinion, you can't get above a 5 for task response, and you'll also get a lower mark for coherence and cohesion. Some people don't discuss both sides. Some people just discuss one side. So they answer the question like an agree or disagree question, a very one-sided question. It's fine to be one-sided in an opinion question, but you have to discuss both views in a discussion question. Another big mistake is giving much more attention to one side than the other. Giving more attention means that they write a very well developed paragraph for one side, so maybe 100 words or even 150 words, and then for the other side they might throw in a few ideas that are undeveloped, or they might just write, say, between 25 and 100 words for the other side. You can't get very high marks if you do that, because you haven't looked at each side equally. So both sides should be, both paragraphs should be fully developed, and they should be around 100 words each. So let's look at some things that you need to do in order to get a band 9. You have to give a clear opinion in the introduction. You must do this because, as I said many times, your opinion needs to be clear throughout the whole of the essay. You need to think of 2 main points supporting each side of the argument. So you have to think of one relevant point for one side and at least one relevant point for the other. You have to decide whether you agree or disagree with each side. So your opinion, when they ask for your opinion, they're really saying, side 1, do you agree or disagree with that? And side 2, do you agree or disagree with that? So you have to decide whether you agree or disagree with that, and we're going to look at that in more detail. You have to support each main idea, so each main side, with explanations and examples, and you know why you have to do that. And you should give a short conclusion summarizing your main points and reiterating your opinion. So you have to have your opinion clear in the introduction, support your opinion in the main body, and then summarize and reiterate your opinion in the conclusion, and that will get you on your way to getting a band 9. So let's look at how to decide opinion. This is something that is very confusing for people when they first see discuss both views questions. They don't know how to decide opinion, and they don't know how to write their opinion. It wastes an awful lot of time. Like opinion essays, agree or disagree essays, some people spend the first 5 minutes just thinking about their personal opinion and what they think. You don't have to do that. Just pick one side very quickly. Your personal opinion does not matter. As I said before, pick the side that you can talk about the most, not how you feel personally about it. Agree with one side and disagree with the other. This is the fastest and most effective way to write and discuss both sides essay. If you say, I kind of agree with one side and I kind of disagree with one side and I kind of agree with the other side and I disagree with it also, that is going to lead to a 6 paragraph essay, and that is going to lead to a very low score. The simplest way is just pick one side that you agree with and pick the other side that you disagree with. Don't worry about your personal opinion, just pick one and do it quickly, and that will lead to your opinion being very, very clear throughout the whole essay, and will mean that you can complete your essay in just 4 paragraphs. So it's quicker, easier, and more effective to do that. So let's look at the overall structure. Of course, first is going to be your introduction, then will be supporting paragraph 1. Supporting paragraph 1 will be the thing that you disagree with. Supporting paragraph 2 will be the opinion that you agree with, and your conclusion. So you're going to, this is the 4 paragraph structure, general structure, that you use for every discuss both views essays. So let's look at this structure in much more detail. Let's look at the sentence by sentence structure. So paragraph 1 will be your introduction, and you're first going to paraphrase the question. Then you're going to outline both sides, and then you're going to give your opinion. Paragraph 2 will be the negative viewpoint, so the viewpoint that you don't agree with. You're going to state the topic sentence, explain why people think that, give an example of why people think that, and then state if you agree or not. So we're going to look at this in much more detail, but in case you're confused now, the topic sentence won't be why you think this opinion. Your topic sentence will be why other people think this opinion. Remember that you're discussing other people's views. So the topic sentence will be why you think other people are of this opinion. You'll explain why you think other people think this, and you'll give an example to support their opinion. Then you will state whether you agree or not. So because it's a negative viewpoint, you're going to just say, I don't agree with this. So paragraph 3 will be the side that you do agree with, your positive viewpoint. So you'll state why people think this view. Again, it's not your personal view. You're going to explain why, and then you're going to give an example to support why people think this view. Then you are going to state that you agree with this. Finally, you're going to write your conclusion. Your conclusion is to summarize the main points and give your opinion. Then it's optional. If you don't think that you're quite over 250 words, you can make a prediction or recommendation. So let's look at this in much more detail. Some people think that drug addicts should be treated like criminals and sent to jail, while others believe that they should be treated like patients and sent to hospital. Discuss both these views and give your own opinion. So let's look at the introduction. Some would argue that people who are addicted to drugs should go to jail because they have broken the law, while others say that they are sick and should be taken care of in hospital. While sentencing them to a term in prison is the quick and easy solution, I believe that it is better to be compassionate and help them get better in hospital. Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. So some would argue you're indicating to the examiner that you're showing one point of view that is not your personal view, it's what other people think. And then you state that viewpoint. While others say, okay, so you're saying this is the opposite viewpoint of the one that you've just stated, and there is the reason. Now you're going to give your opinion. So this was just paraphrasing the question. This was just outlining the 2 main points. And you're going to use the word while. So you could use while, or you could use although. You could say although sentence in them. So while is indicating to the examiner that you're stating someone else's opinion, but you don't agree with this. While sentencing them to a term in prison is the quick and easy solution, I believe, so I believe that this is going to be your positive view, the one that you agree with. So while indicates the one that you don't agree with, and I believe that indicates the one that you do agree with. So the bit in red is your opinion. So what you have done here is you have given your opinion and you have outlined your main ideas all in one. So you've given your opinion, outlined your main ideas, and you've paraphrased the sentence. These introductions tend to be a bit longer than normal because there's so many things you have to do, because you have to outline other people's opinions and then you have to give your own opinion and outline the reasons why. So the negative supporting paragraph. This is your first supporting paragraph where you discuss the view of other people and you don't agree with it. On the one hand, custodial sentences provide a short-term solution to the drugs problem. By locking up addicts, the government can take them off the street, and they believe that this will stop them using narcotics and also causing any harm to others. For example, in the United States, someone caught with even a small amount of heroin is likely to be locked up for at least a year. However, I believe that this does not solve the actual problem, because drug addicts can gain access to drugs while in prison and will be still hooked upon release. So if you don't understand any of the vocabulary in this, please feel free to pause it and look it up in a dictionary so you can understand the full thing. So let's look at the structure of this. On the one hand, so we're showing two different views. So we start each of our main body paragraphs with on the one hand and on the other hand. So on the one hand, and then we state our topic sentence. So this is what other people believe. Okay, and then next we explain why they believe it. So why they believe it, why not why you believe it. Remember, we're discussing other people's opinion. And then finally they give an example to support that view. Okay, so and then very important, we use the word however. However, I believe. So this is indicating that we've stopped talking about what other people think. So this is all about what other people think, this section. This isn't your opinion, this is what other people think. Then by using however I believe, you're indicating to the examiner, now I'm going to give my opinion, and you say however I believe, which shows that you don't agree with it, and then you give the reason why you don't agree with it, and this is the reason why you don't agree with it. And we just use the word because to show the reasons. Alright, then we can move on to our second supporting paragraph, which is our positive supporting paragraph. On the other hand, helping drug addicts kick their habit under medical supervision is thought to reduce the number of addicts in the long term. By treating addiction as a disease and the person with compassion, the root cause can be addressed and that person can eventually become free from drugs. For example, in Switzerland, heroin addicts are given free heroin by doctors until they are ready to stop using the drug, and this has resulted in drug-related crime falling by 80%. I believe this method is preferable because addiction is a disease and it benefits both the individual and society as a whole. So let's look at this in a bit more detail, and feel free to pause it and look up any vocabulary you're not sure about. So on the other hand, so we're showing to the examiner that we're going to discuss the other view now. So it's indicating that we've stopped talking about one side and we're going to talk about the other side. Helping drug addicts kick their habit under medical supervision is thought to reduce the number of addicts in the long term. So this is showing the other viewpoint, why other people think this. Then we're going to explain by treating addiction as a disease and the person with compassion, the root cause can be addressed and that person can eventually become free from drugs. So that's explaining why people think this. Then we're going to give an example. For example, in Switzerland, heroin addicts are given free heroin by doctors until they're ready to stop using the drug, and this has resulted in drug-related crime falling by 80%. So this is all what other people think. This is the reason why people think this viewpoint. Then we're going to stop that and we're going to say, I believe, and this indicates to the examiner that you've stopped talking about what other people think and you're going to give your opinion. So I believe this method is preferable because, so we're using the word because to give our reason. Addiction is a disease and it benefits the individual and society as a whole. So clearly given our opinion and clearly discussed this view. Then we're going to move on to the conclusion. In conclusion, although throwing addicts in jail might get them off the streets for a few years, it does not treat the actual problem, and that is why it is more important to help them get off drugs in a medical facility. It is recommended that more governments follow this logic and bring in more forward-thinking initiatives. So in conclusion, telling the examiner, I'm going to start my conclusion, and we use the word although to indicate that we're going to discuss the viewpoint that we don't agree with. Throwing addicts in jail might get them off the streets for a few years. So this is what the opposite opinion, the opinion that we don't agree with. And then we're going to state our opinion and outline our main reasons. Okay. And then we can use a recommendation if we need to, but you don't really need to include a recommendation unless you are not sure that you are over 250 words. So now we're going to look at everything in much more detail. We're going to go through a whole question step by step, including planning, writing the introduction, supporting paragraphs, conclusion, and then we'll look at the vocabulary that you need for this type of question. So let's start off by looking at another question. Alright, so I hope you found that useful. I hope that gave you an insight into what IELTS Writing Academy is like. That's just 15 minutes out of one video. There is about 12 hours of content in total in IELTS Writing Academy. As you can see, if you scroll down here on the course, you'll see there are 12 modules for task 1 and 12 modules for task 2. On Monday, I will be closing IELTS Writing Academy down completely. You won't be able to join IELTS Writing Academy. All the people that have joined already, they will have lifetime access to everything. But if you don't get in before Monday, you won't be able to access anything. Thanks very much. If you have any questions, feel free to give me an email. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.